I'm Ed Bradley.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Scott Pelley.
I'm Morley Safer.
And I showed him all those leaked documents, and now he's like...
And I'm Mark Ritter.
Hello, and welcome to 60 Minutes. I'm Mark Ritter, and I'll be your host for today's program. Social media, adversary or antagonist? Our investigation begins with an interview of a father of two. His children use Facebook. But here he comes. Mr. Medina, can I ask you a couple of questions?
No, I already told you.
Can I ask you a couple of questions regarding your kids' Facebook use?
I'm not interested. I already told the media.
What?
I'm not interested in any of this.
What is your opinion on the fact that your kids are using Facebook over 2 hours a day? Mr. Medina, please.
So what do we do now?
I guess we could talk to Mark Zuckerberg.
Thank you, Mr. Zuckerberg, for joining us today here. I'm surprised that you responded to my email because you probably get tons of those each day. But I wanted to say thank you for joining us here down at SLU, and thank you for coming on the program again. Let's start off the show by asking you, how much money does Facebook make?
As a private company, we just have the advantage of not necessarily having to report to the outside world all of our financials.
Kind of avoided my question right there, Mark. I'll let you slide this time, but we'll move on now. Let's say I wanted to buy a scarf. How would that work on Facebook?
Basically, when you put that information in your profile that you bought a scarf and that you like that scarf, right? That's something that your friends might find interesting, right? So what we do is we might show that information to your friends a little bit more proactively as an ad.
What you're doing here is marketing off of users' personal information, and many critics have suggested that this will have negative implications for the future. So what you're really doing is commercializing Facebook.
I actually think that this makes it less commercial. I mean, what would you rather see? A banner ad from Bloomingdale's or that one of your friends bought a scarf?
Quite frankly, I think none of my friends would really care if I bought a scarf or not.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm just telling you. Awkward. I felt like my talk with Mr. Zuckerberg was getting me nowhere, and I still had many questions that had gone unanswered. I had to know, was social media affecting the psychology of our youth? And if so, was it turning for the worse? I remained ambitious, and my quest for the truth led me to England, where I met a man by the name of Andrew Keen, author of Digital Vertigo.
I recognize that the web is the dominant reality in social, cultural life, economic life of the 21st century. But that doesn't mean that we should accept it unthinkingly. Human beings have always been narcissistic. It's one of the features, to use a computer word, of the species. So the internet didn't invent narcissism. But on the internet, it enables, particularly social media, a personalized broadcast platform, which really perpetuates and amplifies and exaggerates narcissism. The problem is people are often confusing citizens and consumers.
This is true.
And I think in some ways social media treats us all not as citizens, but as consumers, as people with, sort of universal rights of some sort over the product. The problem, of course, on the social web is that we think of ourselves as consumers, but the reality on networks like Facebook is that we're the product.
Does this mean that more direct actions must be taken to limit Facebook usage or other social media devices?
Perhaps the problem lies within human nature itself. Social media has received a lot of criticism lately, and its problems must be addressed. The future of our nation's youth relies on the possible implications that social media may give us. Join us next time. I'm Mark Ritter for 60 Minutes.